Hello and welcome to 100 Yards of Football Sports Talk Radio. I'm your producer, Logan Landers. And join me on Wednesday, the first day of fall, to talk about this upcoming matchup between the North Carolina Tar Heels and the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. Is my co-host for the Unscripted Sports Podcast, where you listen to us Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturday nights. It is Jay McLovin. What's going on, Jay?
Hey, I'm doing well, man. Yeah, it's hard to believe summer's over with. Now we're in fall.
We finally made it, though. Fall season, you know what that means.
October baseball, baby.
October baseball. Football's is in full gear.
Yep.
Oh, we got the holidays coming up too. It's gonna be fun, man. I love the fall, and there's a lot of great football to be played, including this game here between the Tar Heels and the Yellow Jackets. But before we get started, though, if you guys enjoyed this video, please be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Our page has grown tremendously over the past few weeks. We just hit over 400 subscribers on YouTube, so thank you guys so much for smashing that like button over there, that subscribe button. It's been absolutely amazing. Our podcast has been doing great as well. Thanks to the Believe Podcast Network for sponsoring us and doing some great work over there. So please go over there, leave us a review, and be sure to check out all of our great content because we upload stuff every single day on the podcast. We come here live twice a week here at the show doing some great work. So thank you guys so much for all of your continued support. All right, Jay, it's time. The ACC matchup, the Tar Heels and the Yellow Jackets. Take away. Who do you want to talk with first? Who do you want to talk about? Let's go with the Tar Heels. Who do you like?
That. Let's start with North Carolina.
All right, cool. What you think? What do you like about North Carolina? How can they get this win on Saturday?
Well, North Carolina, if you look at what they've done, they played Virginia at 59-39, and they won that game. Then they played Georgia State at 59-17, and then they lost to Virginia Tech 17-10. So that Virginia Tech game kind of makes me a little nervous, seeing as how Georgia Tech barely almost beat Clemson, but narrowly lost it. So, so you got 2-1 versus 1-2 right now going at it. But I will say this: if you look at their stats, they get a lot of stats. Offensively, I mean, if you look at what they do 307 in the air and around 246 on the ground. So it's about 553 yards. But if you look at Georgia Tech's defense, they only give up 281 total yards. So Georgia Tech has a very stingy defense. So that means that North Carolina is going to have to heavily rely on their passing game as well as their run game. They're going to have to do a balanced attack of it, to be honest with you. Which is fine because they have that. They have Chandler, which ran for about 322 yards and 3 touches. But the only thing is Howell is going to have to control the turnovers. He's got 4 picks, but the man threw for 9 touchdowns in 2 games. So if he's got almost 1,000 yards passing right now, I think it's like around 867. So they have a very stout offense going up a very stout defense. Yep. So that means it's going to be a battle of the offense. Now, if you look at Georgia Tech, their offense really isn't all that potent. They do have 5 touchdowns and 1 pick. The Yates doesn't turn the ball over a lot. So North Carolina's defense is going to have its meat cut out for it. But if you look at their stats, I mean, they really don't give up too much. They give up, what do they get? They got 110 on the ground, which is pretty pedestrian, and then 381 total yards. So Georgia Tech is gonna have to come out pretty strong against that run defense of North Carolina, and I think at the end of the day, man, I think North Carolina is going to do well.
Yeah, I mean the Tar Heels are definitely a potent team. Like you mentioned, 2-1, the number 21 ranked team in the country at the moment. They have a good team. They put up a lot of points on the board. Sam Howell, their quarterback, has done great so far. 9 touchdowns, 4 picks. I would like to see that a little bit better. But the big thing for me, Jay, he's been sacked 9 times this season. I have to double check, make sure I read that right. So that's a pretty good amount of sacks so far this early into the season. So that O-line might be a little bit tired against this Georgia Tech team. I mentioned Howell's done great. Ty Chandler, the running back's got 3 touchdowns so far this season. He's looked good, ran for over 300 yards. The special teams game, the kicking game is looking pretty solid. Adkins has missed 2 field goals this year, though. He's missed 1 from 30 to 39 and 1 from 50 plus. So that might come into factor. It is getting a little colder. So you never know. Their defense is looking really good, though, Jay. Rucker, their linebacker, leading the team with 2.5 sacks. They've got 5 as a team so far this season. Interceptions, they've got 5 as well. So they are getting turnovers. They're getting sacks. Their defense looks strong. Their offense is clicking too. And if you're North Carolina, just play the game that they've been playing so far this season. Give the ball to Josh Downs. That's their Jay. They've targeted him. He's caught 24 passes so far this season. That blows everyone else out of the water for North Carolina on that receiving core. So he's done great work. 4 touchdowns at the wide receiving position, and they are 2-1. You did mention that week 1 loss to Virginia Tech, and it was week 1, man. We said anything could happen, and North Carolina saw that. But they did have a good win against Georgia State and then a compelling win against Virginia last week. They put up 59 points in each of those victories, so they're looking great. Howell's throwing the ball good, and I think if you're North Carolina, just stay the course. Do what you've done this entire season so far, and I think they should be fine. For their team, they put up 42 points a game, so they don't lack any offensive firepower, that's for sure. And we talked about it with our last game preview, and I looked at it here, Jay, and it's something that I look at in terms of how well is your offense running. For third down completion percentage, they are at 48%, which is pretty solid. So over about half the time, you are getting that third down conversion, keeping the drives going, and that's what you love to see. North Carolina's got a great team. If it wasn't for that week 1 loss to Virginia Tech, who knows? They'd probably be in the top 15, maybe a little bit higher up. You never know. But they're working their way, though. They're working their way back into, keeping in the top 25, and we'll see what they can do. But, Jay, before we talk about the Yellow Jackets and how they can potentially pull off an upset, we have some exciting news, though. Our podcast is partnering with PlayActionPools.com this season to bring some interactive fun to the sport we love the most. You'll be able to get on the action with our PlayActionPools.com Football Pick'em Challenge, which is open to everyone. Here's how it works. You sign up for our contest, believe Football Pick'em at PlayActionPools.com, and then get your picks in each week. We're going to select the 10 highest profile games of the week between the NFL and college football. Whoever gets the most picks correct each week will win a pair of electric sunglasses and a pair of DC shoes. Once again, go to PlayActionPools.com and sign up for the contest. Believe, that's BLEAV, Football Pick'em. And if you plan on hosting your own football contest, go to PlayActionPools.com today. They've got Survivor, Pick'em, as well as a cool sportsbook style concept called Build Your Bankroll. PlayActionPools.com, your new home for all your office sports pools. Jay, they couldn't do it last week. They came just so close, but of pulling off a great upset. But the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, you mentioned earlier, their record is 1-2, but they could be a dangerous 1-2 team. What do you think about the Yellow Jackets? How can they pull off this upset?
Yeah, I think with Yellow Jackets, you don't really know what you're going to get until game day hits. Like you said, I mean, they lost by one possession, 14-8 against Clemson. So if you get that staunch defense coming out like they did against Clemson, then that's one version of the team you'll get. Or you could go into Kennesaw like they did Kennesaw State, and they get beat out 45, or they beat Kennesaw State 45-17. So you get a great offensive prowess. Or you go back to Northern Illinois where you battle them, pretty stingy and do 22-21. So you're either going to get that team that fights you hard, or you're going to give up or you're going to get that team that blows you out. And of course now Kennesaw State is not really anything to brag about, but they did do pretty well against Kennesaw State, but they did do well against Northern Illinois, and they did do well against Clemson. So they haven't really been embarrassed by any or blown out by anybody necessarily. And as a matter of fact, if you really look at it, 2 possessions is what they needed. 1 possession against Clemson to win, 1 possession against Northern Illinois to win. Yeah. And if you get those 2 possessions, now you're looking at 3-0, and they could be up, close in the top 10. So, to say Georgia Tech, I mean, they I don't know if they were in the top 10, but they would definitely, if he beat Clemson, if they would have beat Clemson, that definitely would have put them in the top 25 for sure. So, like I said, you got, Yates is having a good year. He doesn't turn the ball over much. He only turned it over 1 time He's got 5 scores to his name and almost 600 yards. Then you look at Gibbs, and Gibbs has 40 carries for 185 yards. And they have a pretty good McCowan at the receiving corps. He's got 13 catches for 203 touchdowns. So McCowan is obviously their big threat guy. So North Carolina is going to have their hands full, I think, with this Georgia Tech team. If Georgia Tech comes out they're going to have their hands full with Georgia Tech no matter what. Because Georgia Tech has not. I don't think Georgia Tech obviously played Clemson hard, Kennesaw State hard, and Northern Illinois hard, and they did not get blown out by either one of those. I don't think you're looking at I don't think North Carolina is going to go there and blow them out. I think this is going to be a very, like we said earlier, it's going to be a close-knit game. And I do believe that it could go Georgia Tech's way. If Georgia Tech comes out and plays like they played against Clemson, it could very well go their way. They give up 281 yards total, but you know what? North Carolina gives up 381. So there's a lopsided version there. So obviously, I think Georgia Tech plays a little bit better defense than what North Carolina plays. So that could be their strong suit right there, Georgia Tech's defense, and their defense is going to have to come out and try to slow down a high octane offense at North Carolina if they want to get that win.
Yeah, you got to be clicking on all cylinders to get this win, I think, if you're a Georgia Tech Yellow Jacket. You mentioned the quarterback, Yates, has looked pretty solid this year. Only 1 interception, 5 touchdowns. And just like Sam Howell, they've been sacked a lot. He's been sacked 9 times. So the O-lines for both of these teams, you could say, are a little bit shaky. So we'll see. We'll see how they do. But the running game, Jahmyr Gibbs, he's leading the team with 185 yards. Mason's right behind him with 127. They run the ball a lot, Jay. They've ran for 525 yards as a team so far collectively. So they do a good bit of rushing. You mentioned McGowan, who is their leading wide receiver, 205 yards, 13 catches. Also Malachi Carter with 12 catches for 179, looking pretty solid. But I think for Tech, the big key to victory for me is you got to get some pressure on the quarterback. Only 2 sacks so far in this entire season. Yeah. Definitely not good enough. You got to get some more pressure.
Absolutely.
They're good at tackling, though. The linebackers have gotten a lot of tackles so far this season. Ely leads the way with 28 total. But you got to get some turnovers. You got 2 picks, which is solid, but only 2 sacks, which is not nearly enough. So for me, the key is the offense has got to stay strong. They've been playing teams tough, but you got to get some turnovers and some key turnovers if you want to get this win against North Carolina. So, Jay, give me your final thoughts and your prediction. What's your score for this game? Who will get the win? Do you have the upset, or do you got North Carolina taking care of business? What's your final score, buddy?
Yeah, I absolutely do think that Georgia Tech could upset North Carolina. I think it's going to be, like I said, it's going to be a close game. I think it comes down to 1 possession, quite honestly. So I'm going to go 21-14, Georgia Tech.
Okay,
I think I'm going to go Georgia Tech over North Carolina. Just based on what they did against Clemson, I think they can duplicate that and go 21-14 over North Carolina.
I've got Tech winning with the upset with this one because I don't think a lot of people thought they would play Clemson that close. And they almost won. Let's not forget that they almost got the win.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for that 1 possession, pretty much, at the end, they would have got that victory. I'm going to keep it close. I'm going to have Georgia Tech getting the win 17-14. Win it by a field goal at the end. They'll break that curse, I think, of that final possession. And I think Tech will get the win in this. I just think the momentum is too good right now for them. They did lose, but just playing Clemson, who is still a top 10 team, that good, I think it's going to carry over to North Carolina. I think North Carolina is going to come out strong, but I think Tech's going to weather the storm. And I think, hey, we both got the upsets at the end, so we'll see if they can pull it off, or North Carolina might make us look foolish and win 50-0. You never know. That's just what football is.
It's true, though.
Yeah, it's happened a lot where I've said, this team's going to win by 30 points. And then the other team does the exact same. So it is what it is. We're just here to give our thoughts. But please give your thoughts in the comments. Who will win this game? What will be the final score? Are you like myself and Jay? Do you have an upset brewing with this one? Will the Yellow Jackets get the win? Or will the North Carolina Tar Heels win by 30? Give us your thoughts and your opinions in the comments. We'll be sure to reply to them. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, whether you're watching us live on Facebook, YouTube, or live on Twitch. We go live twice a week on Mondays and Wednesdays, giving you great football content. Please go over and check out our podcast as well. We are available anywhere podcasts are available to be downloaded, like Spotify, Apple, iTunes, iHeartRadio, you name it. We are over there. We upload daily, sometimes 2-3 a day episodes of our podcast. We have great game previews. We upload NFL, college. We have amazing player profiles for guys who are going to be drafted this upcoming draft. Guys in high school we need to watch out for. We have amazing Legends interviews with former coaches, former Super Bowl winners, with our guy Bobby Butler, our amazing coach Kevin the Bull Jones, who has some great insight as well. The main man in charge, Mr. Football, Vincent Turner, bringing you those great history specials each and every week. Of course, our other great producer, Jeremiah Long. Myself, Jay McLovin, bring it to you each and every Wednesday, giving some great game previews. Jay, I appreciate all the work you've been doing, man. It's been absolute fun having you on. And also, like we said, check out me and Jay if you want to. If you want more of us talking about not just football, but each and every sport, check out our show, Unscripted. We go live Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays on Facebook. Just go check us out. And we have a great show over there. We go for 1 hour each night on Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays. So please go over there and check us out. Well, guys, have a great weekend. Enjoy the first weekend of fall. College football is here. It's in full effect. It's in full swing. Guys, have a great weekend, and we will talk to you soon. Have fun and be safe.